Good morning, good morning, good morning. Top of the morning to everyone who is listening, watching us right here tonight, today live here at 7:25 a.m. Or if you are catching the replay, whether it be in the afternoon, the evening, or in the nighttime, we just want to say thank you for supporting us and listening in as well. But today is Thursday, October 5th, 2023, and you are tuning in to News in Motion, a media outlet with relevant commentary and call to action news. You can catch us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube, or any podcast or any audio and podcast listening platforms as well. Shout out to Miss Adrian, who is usually the first one in here on the YouTube side of our viewers, or Miss Marianne Jackson too. Y'all be running up in here, and we don't even go live yet. It could be 7:15, and Miss Adrian and Miss Marianne already in here. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to Miss Kim Emerson, who is also tuning in through YouTube. Good morning to you, Miss Shirley Nicholson, who is tuning in through Facebook. Happy Thursday to you too as well, Miss Lori Wallace. Good morning, Dr. Antoinette Skies. Good morning, Miss Tracy Newman. Y'all are running up in here on this Thursday morning. Y'all know Thursdays here are our Friday Eves. So today we're still going to have some headline news, but it's going to be a little bit on the lighter side. We're still going to have some fun. Also, today is Throwback Thursday, so let us know what's your favorite throwback song to listen to. It could be something from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Could we consider the early 2000s part of the throwback? I don't know. For some of our viewers out there, would you consider the early 2000s part of the throwback? And also shout out to any high school who is tuning in and listening to us right now. Also, I want to give a shout out to my mom. Good morning to you, Mr. Trish Jones, and good morning, Miss Deborah Sneed. So, without further delay, y'all know what we do here. Let's get ready for some news in motion.
News in motion.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How are you doing out there? I want to pick up where Isaiah left off. I see Robert Holman in there from Facebook, Deborah Johnson from Facebook. I saw Dr. Latrice Washington come in here as well somewhere. I saw her name somewhere. I see my brother in here as well. Kim Edmondson says, yes, the two thousands is throwback in 2023. Look, the Congress is throwback to 1789. How about that? Deborah Johnson says, How You Like Me Now by Cool Mo D. All right, Adrian, I see you in there. Latrice Jones says, so many wonderful throwbacks. Jacqueline says, good morning to you. I think I grabbed everyone who came in here. I think so. Oh, I see Sandra Washington coming in as well. So good morning to all of you. As soon as you said that, Isaiah, I went to I want to rock with you all night. I want to dance with you into the day or sunlight or whatever. I don't know all the words, but that's what came to my mind. I want to rock with you. So that came up in my head. So, hey, I put that out there. That's the song that came to me when you said throwback. So there's that. If y'all have a song, I believe Isaiah said a song, go ahead and put that in there so we can see what that looks like as well. All right, y'all, we have some news, but I do want to break it down, have a little bit of fun, still give some headlines and see what's happening out here. Y'all are rolling up in here for real. I love it. Kim Evans said, MJ, look, he's always going to be around, right? All right, y'all ready? Well, let's go. Number one, we have Representatives Jim Jordan and Steve Scalise. They are running against each other for the House Speaker, among others, but those are the two that are out here. For some background context on the two of them, Steve Scalise, who was the second highest ranking Republican, he was wounded in 2017 after a gunman opened fire during a congressional baseball practice that was more recently diagnosed with blood cancer. Jim Jordan from Ohio. Just ask us Ohioans about him. Just saying, just saying. He is the co-founder, get this, of the House Freedom Caucus, who started all this ruckus, okay? And was first nominated for the speaker role in January by Republicans who had back then opposed McCarthy, though he chose to support McCarthy at the time. You know, look, was it what's the saying? With friends like these, who needs enemies? You got that. You got that. What's up, Sardinia and Donita's in there? I see my sister rolling up in here. Y'all coming up in here. Yep. Adrian is saying Jim Jordan is the worst. Look. All right, y'all. Next up, the former guy's name has also been floated around as speaker. I shared with you yesterday. You do not have to be a House of Representatives to become speaker, but the House of Representatives have to be the ones who vote you in. The number, remember, there's two vacancies, so it's really 217, but I'm still hearing 218, so we'll see what's happening there. Um, but he wants the bigger piece of the pie. He's like, that's too small for me, so we'll see. And by the way, he's still talking. I thought he had a gag order, but he's still talking. Number three, somehow McCarthy is still acting as if he's in charge. Y'all, homeboy had the nerve to kick Nancy Pelosi out of her office and told her she had until Wednesday of next week to be out the office because he's moving in there. He said that's the office of previous speakers. But at least they finished their tenure. You got kicked out. You got fired. So I don't know if that applies to you or not. But anyway, that's what he's doing. So she, she said, I'll move, whatever. Y'all, the house is definitely in chaos. And at this point, it's probably on fire. All right. And I have to go with the New York Times write up. They did something. I was like, I wrote my friend back and I said, I'm going to take all of this that you just put out there because it's so easy. I don't need to repeat it. So let me give you the direct quote. For the first time in history, a party has just fired its own Speaker of the House in the middle of the term. In the Senate, one of two party leaders who's 81 years old has twice frozen publicly, unable to speak, and there may be more times. The Supreme Court justice has allowed wealthy political donors to finance a lavish lifestyle for him and his wife. Y'all know who that is, Thomas. And that same justice wife urged officials to overturn the 2020 presidential election based upon lies. A likely nominee is upcoming presidential election is facing 4 criminal trials and regularly speaking to people and threatening people and chasing people down from his social media. Then that nominee is essentially tied to the polls with another 80-year-old president who many voters worry is too old to serve a second term. I mean, that's it in a nutshell, right? Well, no, not necessarily so, because in other news from Politico, y'all get this, pay attention to this one. I read these things and I go, are we serious right now? So Nadine Menendez, y'all remember her, right? She's the wife of the co-defendant of the gold bar Bob, the one had all the gold bars in his house. I still think that's just crazy. Well, y'all, in 2018, she struck and killed a man while driving her Mercedes Benz in New Jersey. Yeah, this is according to media reports per Politico. Wait a minute, you killed somebody? Well, let me keep telling y'all about it. The wife who's done this, and this has come out the New York Times and the Record and Politico, citing that police reports and police dash cam video. So they got this on tape, okay? Reported that Nadine Menendez, who was dating the senator at the time, was found by police to be not at fault. Okay, help me understand this. In the crash because the victim, Richard Coop, was jaywalking. Okay, so Richard was jaywalking, but it was okay to run him down and kill him? Like, make that make sense to me. How is this even able to happen? And why aren't you in jail for murder? Okay, and then she was allowed to leave the scene. Well, why? Well, there was someone, it was a retired cop. Y'all, and I'm gonna give y'all a link to this. I'm gonna pull this up right now and give y'all a link to this so that y'all can have it and you can read it for yourselves. If I can get it, I'm putting it in here right now because I want y'all to be able to see it. I think it's coming in. Boom, there it is. It's out there. Y'all can read for yourselves. Now, a retired cop told the police that he didn't know her, but that he was doing her a favor because she's a friend of a friend's wife, according to New York Times. Isn't that special treatment? Isn't that privilege? Deborah Johnson says that's outrageous. Yes, that's outrageous. I'm reading these things. What's up, Judy Neal? Such a disgrace. Yes, the house is burning down. Yes, y'all. I read this and I'm thinking, wait a minute, you ran somebody over and you weren't at fault because Richard Cobb was considered jaywalking? Let me run somebody over. Not that I want to. Y'all know I'll be in jail, under the jail, without bail, and I won't be able to come out. Yeah, they didn't check to see if she had any alcohol in her system, any drugs in her system, anything. They didn't check any of that. They said she a friend of a friend. Let her go. I'm, and I got the link in there for you to read yourself. That's what's happening. Yes, privilege. Yes, privilege. Yes, you're right, Donita. She says I thought pedestrians had the right of way. I did too. All right, y'all. Let's just say people are tired. Let's just flip it just a little bit. People are just tired. Lori says one of my favorite songs. Oh, still play. Oh, y'all still on to the songs. Keep putting them in there. Maybe that'll be our music list this week. Y'all, AP reports. I think people are just exhausted. That roughly 75,000 Kaiser Permanente workers walked off the job early on yesterday in the largest healthcare strike in U.S. history. Now, y'all, this walkout, which does not include doctors, so y'all can still see a doctor, is slated to last until Saturday, with executives claiming that the system would reopen as thousands of temporary workers fill in. So they have temporary workers out here. Now, Kaiser Permanente is one of the largest nonprofit healthcare systems, offering insurance and treatment to its 13 million patients. Now, they're saying that the strike leaders claim that management, which employs over 200,000 workers and 23,000 physicians, have failed to fully staff 39 hospitals and hundreds of medical offices across 8 states. Now, leading all of this in what they're calling a broad burnout. They're saying they're tired, they're just burned out. So, this is the part that threw me for a loop. Workers from nurses to pharmacists are demanding $25 per hour minimum wage. Y'all not already paying them that? The people who save lives every day and the people who are dealing with all types of people that walk in day and night, y'all not paying them $25 an hour? Like, what is going on here in America? Seriously, seriously, y'all, what's going on? Now, they're wanting a salary increase and they want strategies to deal with staff shortages. They're saying they're even working longer hours, still less than $25 per hour. There's something wrong with this. See, if the House wasn't in chaos, maybe the House can fix some legislation to make sure people are paid their worth. Hello, somebody. That people are paid their worth. Now, y'all, this strike is just the latest high profile unionized labor activity this year. Remember, you had the writers, you have the Hollywood actors, you have the UAW, you have the UPS drivers, hospitality employees, and more. People are tired. They're like, enough of this. Enough of this. We need to do this. I saw a post from one of my friends on yesterday. I think she's on Instagram, Marlena. And she said in her post, she says, isn't it interesting that people want to highlight the fact that I'm drinking what people may call an expensive coffee, but we won't highlight the fact that there are executives who are paying people who are actually running the business. They're not highlighting the fact that they're not paying their people. I said, well, that can speak right there. Sure enough, that can speak. Patricia Lau says they don't need an increase. Who said they don't need? Oh, you're saying they don't need a increase. I got you. Okay, I was going to say, huh, what? Donita says the Republican House is on fire. We don't need no water. Y'all know the rest. I got you. Y'all are really in these songs. I love that. Close to the edge. Oh, now y'all got the songs going with the news. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Keep it going. Keep it going. I'm loving it. We got some of the most brilliant viewers out here. I love it. I love it. Y'all, maybe we're just hot. Maybe that's why things are happening the way. Maybe we just hot. Like, stop messing with the temperature out here and let's get something up. Y'all talking about purple rain. Bring it on, y'all. The weather reports. I want y'all to get this. Last month, we're just talking September, okay? Was the hottest September on record. Like, Look, the house is on fire, y'all. According to early data, y'all, global averages during the month were 1.6 degrees Fahrenheit above the 1991-2020 average and more than 3 degrees above the estimated pre industrial baseline. I don't know the pre industrial baseline, and I'm just giving y'all the exact piece from the Weather Channel reports. I said, maybe that's it. We're just hot. Now I don't know about y'all, and I told y'all for 2 days, and I did tell FEMA, thank y'all for not leaving that for 30 minutes. Mine only probably went off for 60 seconds. Some people said theirs went about 3 to 4 minutes. Others said that they didn't even get a notice. So there's that. But I'm gonna say this about that. I told y'all about this 220 thing in the Eastern Time Zone. Why did I almost like jump out my seat when I heard that thing go off? Like what? I wasn't expecting the noise. I have to be honest with you all, but that happened. But for everyone's out there, I want to send this message that's coming again straight from the FEMA's website where I got the initial alert. They want to stop all the misinformation and the disinformation. They didn't send anything through your phone that's going to hurt your environment. Yeah, we got to stop those conspiracy theories. And if you hear those things, please squash them. That's not what happened. They were just doing a test so that if anything happens, a wildfire, a flood, tornadoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, whatever, you can be alerted. Okay. So they didn't send anything through your phone. And I don't believe they did. So please ignore all that. Let me see what some of you all are saying. Dr. Antoinette says, and when they shut down the government, there'll be essential workers who have to work without pay, scrubs sitting on the passenger side of the people's ride trying to holla at us. Well, there's that. Um, Marion Jackson saying controversy. Kim Edmondson says politicians need to do their jobs and stop with the petty nonsense. Thank you. Lori Williams Wallace says it was the same sound as a child abduction signal. Yes, yes. I was like, could y'all not have helped us out here? Kim Edmondson says I was in a meeting when it went off. Yeah. Adrian said I had two messages, the first in English and the second in Spanish. Yeah, I think it kind of like did some weird things because I was watching other like news stations information where they were saying that stuff did shut down. Others said theirs never did. So I don't know how they did what they were doing, but I guess the test passed. I don't know. All right, y'all. In Market Watch, for everyone who's wondering and concerned, Market Watch reports that weekly mortgage applications for U.S. home purchases fell to the lowest level since 1995 as rates near 8%. And they're saying that this is pushing demand to the lowest level in 27 years, meaning pushing demands. The rates are high, people aren't moving. So it's like you're kind of like stuck where you are momentarily. Um, now, y'all, I want y'all to make this make sense for me. CNBC reports that General Motors secures 6 billion line of credit, stating that the UAW strike cost the automaker 200 million in third quarter. Huh. Let's see. I think I'm a little brilliant here. I think I got some education behind me. Now I'm not a mathematician or anything like that, but common sense would say if you just pay your employees what they're asking for, you wouldn't need to get a 6 billion line of credit, and you would not have lost 200 million in the third quarter because they started walking off. So you go get a line of credit for you and the executive, 6 billion, but not for your workers. Make that make sense. Now you just done made them mad because this is now out here that you went out and got a 6 billion with a B line of credit. Somebody talk to me on this one. What are y'all's thoughts here? Like, are we no longer thinking? Like, has critical thinking gone out the door? What's really going on here? What's really going on? Yeah, I need to hear from y'all. I need to hear from y'all. What's going on? Now, y'all can say that Biden is old if you want to, but homie's not done. Supreme Court said you're not getting any money because people are mad about student loans. People got to pay the student loans back. It's like, okay. he agreed to something, and whatever he agreed with the house, and they in the initial bills back in early May, April, May, whatever. All right, he said, okay. Well, he had another plan. Yeah. So he announced yesterday. I was in on this press release. He announced yesterday that the Biden administration provides an additional 9 billion with a B in student loan debt relief for 125,000 borrowers as student loan payments resume this month. Latrice Jones says they're real bold getting a loan and not paying their employees. That's what I'm saying, Latrice. I'm like, did you think you was going to do that quietly? That wasn't going to happen. They were going to put you on blast getting that loan for 6 billion with a B, with 6 billion. So here's Biden. He got, I'm going 9 billion. So student loan debt, he's done helped out 125,000 borrowers. So let me tell you what it will help. Of those 125,000 borrowers, 53 of them, 53,000, excuse me, will receive relief under what they call the public service loan forgiveness program. This loan wipes out the student loan balance of public service workers who have worked for 10 years and made 120 qualifying payments. So you've been paying over the past 10 years. The rest of it's wiped out. You don't have to worry about it. Now, I gave all of y'all this information like about 3 weeks ago. Hopefully you kept it, or just go back and look at past news and motions and get all the information, all the links, everything, because it's still going on. So don't say you're not being helped, because one of those links are going to help you. Okay, that's the kind of information you get right here on News in Motion. About 51,000 borrowers will get relief via an income driven repayment plan. This will apply to people who have worked for 20 or more years, not at the same place, y'all, but never received the debt forgiveness they were entitled to. He's like, I'm gonna figure out how to get y'all's money so you don't have to pay this. So that's where some money went to. And then roughly 22,000 borrowers who have a total or permanent disability will also receive complete relief, the White House said. Here's his exact readout when he was at the podium. You know, I love listening to these things, because when you have the public one and then you have them where it goes off air, so those of us who are journalists can go in and hear the rest of it. So, and he's a funny guy, by the way. He really is. He says, and this is the direct quote I got in the printout: we fixed what's called the income driven payment repayment program. And here's how it works. And by the way, I'm reading this exactly how he said it. So it may not make sense in some places because he repeats himself. If you have an undergraduate loan after 20 straight years of straight paying, not missing, paying a debt, and then he goes, on a monthly basis, whatever is left of your loan is forgiven at 20 years. Now, this does not include the moratorium that happened. And this does not include when you do a pause. They're talking about when you just stop paying. Like, I'm incognito, I can't hear you, I'm not answering my phone, I'm just not paying. Not that. That's not what he's talking about. Then he goes on to say, but because of administrative failure, some people who did pay their loans for 20 years or more did not get the debt relief they earned. We fixed that and made sure borrowers got credit for every single payment they made. As a result of these changes, today I'm announcing my administration has approved an additional 9 billion in relief for 120,000 borrowers in just the past few weeks under that program. With the latest debt canceled, and he said cancellation, in total, my administration has canceled 127 billion with a B. So that, on top of what they've been doing up until this point, 127 billion has been canceled in student debt for nearly 3.6 million Americans. He goes on to say this kind of relief is life-changing for individuals and their families, but it's good for our economy as a whole as well. By freeing millions of Americans from the crushing burden of student debt, it means they can go and get their lives in order. They can think about buying a house. Not today, we can't. They can start a business. They can begin starting a family. It matters in their daily lives. Then he ended it with this. He said the latest progress builds on the steps we've given. We've made the largest increase in Pell Grants in over a decade, helping students of families making less than $60,000 a year get to college. We made additional improvements to the income driven repayment program. So that is what is out there. And I'm sad that we're not pushing this type of information out there so that people who may not be aware or they don't know of news in motion, they're not tuning in for whatever reason, or they're at their job, they can't listen in, they don't have it. So the media, the international media, the national media should be putting this type of information out there. I can only do so much. So if y'all don't mind, keep sharing these broadcasts when you hear news like this so people are aware that this is out there, or put a post on your wall, not of necessarily news in motion, but the links and things that where people can go. All right, y'all, let's breathe a little bit as we're wrapping up our week with news in motion. Um, what are you looking for? I'm thinking about fall. What are you looking forward to now that the leaves are changing and the temperatures are hopefully dropping? Like I need some fall, like for real. That 87 degrees yesterday wasn't getting it for me. I'm ready for some fall. The leaves are falling. There's not matching the weather. I live in Ohio for a reason. I need all of my seasons. So, what are you looking forward to now that the leaves are falling? What are you looking forward to now that the temperatures are dropping? The other thing I want to ask you, and I want to share. We're a community. What's your favorite fall meal? What is your favorite fall meal? And I went back and forth between chili. I love me some chili when I make it, or when I do baked chicken smothered in cream of celery and cream of chicken soup and macaroni and cheese, all made by scratch, and collard greens. That's a cushy meal for me as well. And then, as we already know, either give me my caramel apple spice. Laura, you'll get a kick out of this, so I can have on my sweater and my boots and just be in the chill, or or my a caramel brulee latte once the holiday drinks come. Let's see. Lori says, first, I'm looking for someone to rake all the leaves in my front yard. Y'all, Lori told y'all last week she needed y'all to come while y'all were laughing and stuff. She said, come and rake her leaves. Adrian says, chill all day long. Deborah Johnson is saying long walks, chill, and chicken vegetable soup, homemade. That sounds good. Okay. Um, Latrice says chili is my good fall meal and tuna noodle casserole. You know how to make that? I'm gonna need some of that. My mom used to make it all the time, and now that she's not unable to do so, I've been wanting some of that. There's things that my mom can no longer do, and I keep saying if she ever gets up, I have a list for her, even if it's just a one time, so I can know how to do it. And she's not one to share the recipes. I'm a little messed up about that. Robert says seafood gumbo. Jacqueline says she's looking forward to chili. Adrian, chili. Y'all liking this chili? Dr. Antoinette says turkey wings, mac and cheese, and collards. So we're about on the same page with that. Yep. Deborah Sneed says homemade beef stew and cornbread. Yum. That sounds amazing. You see, you're in Ohio too. You're in Columbus too, huh? Thank you, Latrice. Boom. I love it. I love it. I love it. Marion Jackson says white chili. Okay. Donita says homemade chicken noodle soup and chili and cornbread. Y'all making me hungry. Dr. Annette Jackson, y'all, let's congratulate Dr. Annette Jackson. I keep saying that. She will be graduating. She's already defended her paper. I believe I think I said that right. She will be graduating in December, I believe. So we want to congratulate her. And then she says white chili sounds good. So y'all, just some things as we're coming off of all of this type of news this week. So I want to take us here, and then we're out of here. Here's the message for today. I asked a client of mine during a coaching call yesterday, what was, because I was just listening to her, and I said, what walls do you want God to bring down in your life? What walls? Wait a minute, hold up. Shardenia says chili and shrimp corn chowder. Well, if that ain't some type of good. Shardenia, you live here in Central Ohio? Let me know. Let me know. That sounds fantastic. What walls do you want God to bring down in your life? What does that look like? What walls do you want God to bring down in your life? And I asked her that. And she paused for a good while. And then she began to name the walls one by one, which got me to think, and I want to ask you all the same question. And if you're vulnerable and free, you don't have to, Post it in the chat if you're tuning in live, if you're watching the live, the video um, uh, episode today. Um, Sardinia lives in Lorraine. Well, I guess we can meet halfway because that surely sounds good. Um, Annette Jackson says, I was just reading Joshua 6 and through 8. Yep, yep, yep. So what walls do you want God to bring down in your life? And feel free, if you're vulnerable and you don't mind posting them in the chat. If you're watching the video stream this morning, please do. Or if you're checking out the replay later, please put that in there. And then my next question I had for her, and I want to ask the same of you. What will it take for you to get to your full potential? What will it take for you to get to your full potential? Thank you, Lori, for being vulnerable. She said doubt. She wants the wall of doubt. She wants God to bring that wall down. Um, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I'm a slow walkers here. We got time. We got time. Um, what walls? What walls? When I get into sessions with my coaching clients, we have a good time because if you ever do any type of spiritual direction type coaching sessions with me, that's where my ministry side, my ordained as a pastor side comes out. Um, we have time of prayer. I listen, I challenge, I stretch them. All of that comes behind that. And when those 5 to 8 weeks in, they want a whole new set. And of course, it's a different price for them when they come back. But and I asked them, like, I believe that you should be able to just go and fly once we're done. And they said, but I'm making headway, so I want to keep going. And so I ask some tough questions at times, and I allow for silence. Sometimes there's tears, sometimes there's weeping because we're going through that, and I'm praying with them as we're going through. But when we're trying to get to the root of some things in our lives, we have to answer these questions. Shardinia says, oh, she told me how I can buy it. Okay. Dr. Annette says those are two very important questions. They are. We have to answer those questions, even if we just pull out our journals and write our answers there. We have to get quiet and say, okay, what walls? Because believe it or not, we've built walls in our lives. We've built them. They're protective walls to some degree. We've built them. We've put ourselves inside a concrete wall in many cases, and then we're trying to chisel our way out, and we find it more difficult than if we just had the opportunity to think through and to breathe through before we built these concrete, like brick walls up. Sometimes there's 4 or 5 layers of these brick walls that we build up, and there's times that we find ourselves suffocating. For those of you who may want to do some of this on your own, there is a workbook that I have out there. It's been out there for probably 10 years now. I think it was out there as a I don't know, it's been longer than that, possibly. But it's called Getting to the Root of It. You can find it on Amazon. You can also find it on Barnes and Noble. Getting to the Root of It is a 49-day process. You have to, and it's giving you prompters. There's people I coach with through that, but you can also do that on your own. But I think it's so important as we're in this last quarter to deal with some things that we have ignored or avoided all year. That now it's time, it's like, let me get to this so I'm not carrying this into the next year. So there's an opportunity. Again, it's called Getting to the Root of It. I don't know if Isaiah can put that up or not. But it's called Getting to the Root of It. Is a 8.5 by 11 workbook, 49 days. And some people it takes longer because they may spend a lot of time on one particular page. So it's called Getting to the Root of It. Latrice says the wall of control. You want God to tear down the wall of control. That's another one. Yeah, that's another one. That's a good one. We want to stop being in control of everything. Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Um, so I want y'all to process that. Again, the workbook is called Getting to the Root of It. It's by me. It's a workbook, green and white cover. It has a tree with all these roots on the bottom of it on the cover. Marion says, oh, thank you. Thank you and Latrice both for putting the questions up there. What walls do you want God to bring down in your life? And what will it take to get to your potential, your full potential? So the podcast drops tomorrow. It's a different podcast. This month, I'm going to focus on businesses and causes. So I kicked it off talking about the new program that I have that starts tomorrow. If you want to sign up, manuscripts and mimosas. We're going to work through manuscripts, work through articles, work through blog posts, work through content writing. It's a working session. If you miss it, if you can't join us live, you can always catch the replay. And even though we may not be talking about your manuscript or the piece that you're working on, you can still gain instructions for how to go back and look at yours. It's an exclusive membership. You can go to my website to check that out. That's www.gail.lee.com. The first one will kick off tomorrow. We starting at 11 o'clock Eastern time. We may change that when we get to November. It happens every first Friday. Every first Friday, we may change that. We may push it back to 11:30, but we'll see how that's going to work. And then we have one more thing we want to share about authors. For November, the podcast, we want to focus on authors. We want to focus on authors. So if you've been an author 3 years or less, here's an opportunity. We want to receive your book, whatever book you have out there that you've written. It has to be a published book already out there. We want to promote you. We're doing a crazy deal for you, where you will not only get a video trailer, you also get an audio trailer on both News in Motion and Politics and Prose. If you're interested, just hit us up at newsinmotionwithgail@gmail.com. Ask how you can be a part of it. We're going to flood November with authors. November the 1st is Authors Day, International Authors Day. The entire month is around authors. So we're going to flood November with authors. That's kind of like a short month for us because of Thanksgiving. But I love authors so much because I'm one, where I usually take off the week after Thanksgiving. Well, I'm not doing that. We're going to be here that week as well because we want to really promote authors. We're going to also interview authors on Politics and Prose. So here's an opportunity for you to do that. All right, y'all. There's so much out there. Dr. Ines says, I want to do a relaunch of one. Well, sign up for the easiest thing to do is sign up for Manuscripts and Mimosas and join us tomorrow. It's gail.lee.com. And then look in the menu bar and hit Manuscript and Mimosas and just sign up. You can do it monthly. You can cancel at any time, or you could do yearly as well. So check that out, everybody. Y'all, this has been a great week. A lot of news, but I love the interaction here with News in Motion. I want to read this quick email and then we're out of here. This email came from one of our viewers that said, I've been watching you. She says, myself, my husband, and my 3 children have been watching you for about a year and a half. When you took a break, I was mad. I was hoping you would come back. I thought that was a really cute piece. I was hoping that you would come back. You did return, and when you started off the first day, giving us your new direction, I became a little worried. I must say, everything that you're doing has helped me, my husband, and our family. We are secure with the news that we're listening to. We appreciate your truth. We appreciate how you deliver. We appreciate your excitement. We find that we laugh more in the mornings because we're listening to you. She goes on to say, I've shared this with several people. I'm not for sure if they're tuning in or not, but I'm going to do my part to keep sharing into you. She said, in addition to all of that, I just want to say bless you as you bless us on a regular basis. I also want to say that I want you to that I want you to continue to make bold moves, and I want your life to be a life of abundance. I'm not sure why you don't have thousands upon thousands of people watching each morning live. I know you do in the replays, but come on, people. There's so much to learn from this woman who has a heart and a passion to equip us as voters and as citizens of the United States of America. So kudos to you and your team. Shout out to Isaiah and Lexi as well for the summertime. My children love them dearly. All right, y'all, I'm signing off. Keep moving, make bold moves, and remember to live your life in abundance. We're out.
Motion.